Hey everybody, it's Dune back with another episode of Factorio Megabase. Last session, or episode I suppose, we created a copper cable outpost in the roads towards improving our yellow science. You know, what we need for yellow science is a whole ton of copper cables, which we'd made. Processing units, the blue chips, and batteries. Oh, those and speed modules we already have. So this is kind of a complicated build. This is like 4 different products coming in for one end result. So it's going to definitely challenge us. We do have example of that. I think, trying to remember. Just kind of look around, probably like space science. Was that the one where we had 4 different inputs? Yeah, so we have 4 different inputs for space science and then 1 out. So we pretty much copy this, though it will just be the track copy. We're obviously not putting in rockets. But we can begin with this. Actually, we'll actually copy our, say, one of our assembly builds. It could be any one of them from, purple science. Any of them will work. And then just, so we'll grab this, and I'm just trying to figure out where these guys are getting their power. I don't see any power poles between the robo ports, and I guess there's some power poles behind the beacons. I don't necessarily want to go with those. I'd look more at, I do like having substations, but they require the parts to be a little further apart, and we don't have that. All right, well, let's copy the space science track. It's a ton of power poles. Again, no power poles kind of between the but these are getting their power from the substation. I don't know. We'll just have to figure it out. There'll be, 4 input track. Copy the track. There's 1 input lane, and the input lane and exit lane kind of share the same. For some reason, I had separate input exit lanes for the outgoing. We won't go with that. We'll just copy to about there and build from it. So I actually erase all this, and of course these chests and stuff don't have any. I just wanted I wanted to get the track, so that's why I went as wide as I did. We can't just say no, no inserters or no that. We have to just kind of paint back and forth with our cursor to erase those. And of course we're missing some, probably, but we can accept that and then go after it again. So there's one, another, and kind of some weird power pole thing going on here. Don't know what that's about. We'll get rid of one of them, and then if we need to, we'll put it back in. Because we kind of, built this one from, this part here was all by scratch. And then we did that also by scratch. So it's going to be a combination of a couple things. And then, again, we just kind of, we don't want smelting. I would think green circuits is a good one. Red circuits we kind of did recently. Let's grab one of those. We'll just go with that. I have to build kind of things. I don't know if I want that or not, but. And then we'll just do twice that. plus one of those. And what we assemble for parts. Right, so I mean for track, you know, we'll have all those, but we need, you know, 192 plus basically 200 provider chests plus another 100 provider chests, so 300 provider chests. Start with that. Probably need all these requester chests. And whoa, we probably don't need that many assemblers. So we'll start with all those going in. Inserters, of course. Dink dink. That should be good on assemblers. I'll need those 3. We're going to need 160 some beacons, so technically 140 since we carry 28 on us. Let's just grab those. It's way too many, but we'll 4, 5, 6. Whoops. Dang it. Now we're going to have an extra 50 of those. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14. And we'll dump a few. Bots will take them from us. And if I got rid of those 10, they just give me 8 back, so we'll just let them do that. Modules. We need double this, so 400 and 300. So 400, and I've already got 50, so 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. And 300, 250. So 5 stacks of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's click those. Kind of make our. All right. So where are we? We've got our beacons. I mean our modules. We got our beacons, I believe, too. 140. And inserters, 100 there. 240 there. So we need 200 here. 400, roughly. Really 350 if we wanted to be. We'll go with 400. So we got 100. Also going to need power poles and lots of them. Can get rid of some things. A little track. We're gonna need more stations. Just take a stack. Oops, that's not what I want you to click. It's power poles. What are we looking at? I mean, it's saying 100 there. 50 there, and we're gonna probably need more because we don't have some things, but 150 we'll go with. And right, inserters we're saying 200, 400. And we have our 400. Good. Okay. Provider chest, it was 100. And so 300-ish. And requester chests, 100 and 50. actually have 200, so we're good there. Power poles, I'm kind of tempted to throw in another stack. Doesn't hurt to have them. We have our assemblers, it's just 100 in there, right? Yes, plus the ones we carry. I see an extra few miners we can dump. Belts we're not going to need. We have 100 inserts. I had to handcraft an engine recently, so let's top my engines off. So it looks like we're all good for this guy. And for this, I think roboports. Definitely need roboports. Let's just grab a couple stacks. And bots. We'll need 1,000 bots. Let's do that. And I think we're good. Oops. Kind of running around in this armor in this little part of the base is difficult. Copy and paste that. Move that car up. Disconnect it. Getting this one move up. See if this all loads in. Just watching that one. Okay, it's good. Okay, where are we building? Technically, we are just replacing this. Technically, that's what we are doing. We're not obviously wanting to disassemble this until we're done with it. But we can, we're not doing the petroleum or the sulfuric acid because we actually have a train for batteries. And we're not doing the copper cable. Probably the only trains that will see duplication or reuse is the blue chips and our pickups and our speed modules. Oh, and batteries. So once we're kind of done with this, we will just reroute those to our new facility. Really, where do we want to do this? I mean, our current science pickup is here. Like, we really don't need to do yellows like way up here anymore. This was my first outpost. I really had first science outpost, so I really had no idea, the ultimate layout of my Megabase. So, ideally we would want yellow science actually to be somewhere like right here, Someday this iron outpost is going to move, and I'm wondering, could it fit there? Like, that would be ideal, right? This isn't too big. We could fit it. We'd squeeze it in. Not interested really in squeezing, but and if we're really planning on dismantling this at some point, we actually could. Well, this would kind of defeat the purpose, but we have, basically this space and this space. These are unused to consider, but we're doing space science. Science, and our science has sort of been migrated to the south. We did purple and blue here, which is sort of north because I built them after this. But we have red, green down this direction. So, and our actual research outpost here that is duplicatable. Like, we can, add another patch right here, which we're probably going to do at some point, and or off to the side. I want to get this mined up beforehand, and that's probably going to be a little bit. Before we do that, and we are planning on doing it after we get this yellow science build going is expanding this. So we'll probably do here next, which will, you know, this is like 1.4K science per minute. Each one of these was 700-ish. You know, it's not an exact number, but we're going to want our trains not to have to travel so far. So ideally, I guess this is it. Obviously, I'm not going to rip this up to do that, but we can start here. So let's just plan on starting here, and we have pretty much no ore here. A little tiny uranium, a little tiny of iron. Iron, never going to be mined up. Highly unlikely anyways. To go here. It's going to be a little tight. It's going to have a fair amount of trains for stacker. So what would that look like? Trains come in, over, and then kind of route this way. Have these guys lined up in this direction, which kind of stacker. I mean, technically, if we plan on moving this track could be moved. We have space here to expand that way. So we'll come in here, up, and then route our trains this way, and then probably back out and down. Okay. Now, if I'd kind of known this ahead of time, I actually had an entrance over here for when iron used to be here. Iron ore used to come in right here. But, you know, we weren't planning on it. So we got it. We're ready to go S22 west. S2 west. Let's go. Have a little fun. Build this new outpost. And then kind of we're done with sort of spaghetti builds. Not technically. I mean, we got a spaghetti. This is a bot-based build. This is probably our last spaghetti build. This is artillery outpost, which also could be dismantled. I made peace with the biters. They're no longer attacking. They're actually moved out, and they're no longer going to affect us. So technically that could be demolished too. I'm not really sure how to go about that. Do I just, because really, like, I can't get rid of artillery shells now. Like, they're permanently in my system, or I use, you know, like a mod to just delete them. Actually, I could put them in chests and blow them up. Could be kind of fun. I don't know exactly how we do that, but it's certainly an option. And we're kind of going to be waiting for these trains, but we can get out and maybe let me go first, please. Thank you. All right. Guess we won't get out right away. There is a radar we need to concern ourselves with. Class user MND1. That guy helped me out a lot when this was a multiplayer map. Wish I could invite him in. I think he's somewhere in Europe somewhere, so it's be kind of unlikely. We're just way different time zones. So we have to go with something like so. Let's look at this radar. You know, if I move it over, I can't. If I move it over just even that much, it's a separate sector. That's assuming let's just kind of see what goes dark with that guy dark. So we want minimally. Not quite sure why this is so far over. There it is. I want a double wide entrance. Somewhere about here. Right, and some extra signals about it. And then go back to that stacker. Oops. Guess it's going to be like so. There's really no way to do it except for maybe. Yeah, this is doable, honestly, so I could probably leave that radar just alone the way it is. Give us a little extra switch armor. So we have 4 train inputs. Now obviously each input spot will have its own station, so we don't need, it's a stacker's really for extra trains, right? Don't know why this waypoint's a little far from the intersection. It's not like where I normally put it. Still haven't seen any reason to keep this guy. There's another radar right there. Oh, we're going to get rid of it. It's probably my own personal radars kind of interfering with that. So we're going to want, how far up can we go here? Trains to come in. They really should have their own exit lane. Oops. So let's kind of compare that to this guy. So if we were to really make these exact pull that up stuff anyways. So the way it was originally crafted was to line up with that bottom one. But if we had a separate exit lane, we'd want the top one. How much space do we have? Guessed. Right, so if that's the exit lane on the, because that would be technically the input lane, but it won't actually come out. We're going to have at some point something like that. So will that fit? I mean, I'm thinking that's just barely fits. And, we're going to have something that wide. Whoa, that's actually huge. I suppose if we bring it down that low, it's not as bad. So let's edit this guy and remove that track. So do that. And it looks good. I'll do that. And then this guy. And I guess we're going to need to do hit twice. We're going to track. Technically speaking, we're probably not going to need that wide. Actually, it's hard to say at the moment, but some of these trees, these ones especially. Well, we don't even have a full inventory of trees yet. Okay, and these guys, same thing. One space left for seems like I could have gone up a little tad, or not really need these guys. That works. Okay. And we are planning on, so our signals are backwards once again. Why are these so funky? Like, why doesn't this side match that side? So let's kind of play around with that. I like this. Why not use it, right? Let's get the signals right, though. So, that's wrong, that's wrong. And that's wrong. So it'll start off with a chain signal. And then we'll come in one way and exit another way. Right. Aren't you guys picking up? Come on, get to work. Guess we're gonna need a new blueprint. Well, actually, I don't need this guy anymore, I don't think. Unless I end up tearing everything apart, but I can just copy what I have. And I'll just go with this. And go like that. Right. Technically speaking, we could probably get rid of this, at least at the moment. If we end up needing a second station, we can put that in. We'll leave one piece to remind us that we are reserving that. Probably do chain signal there. Chain signal there. Guess if this did go straight, let's put that there. But we could always move it. Okay. And we'll move this down. Oh, we do have an entrance lane, don't we? I forgot. We still need to keep that going because it's actually our pickup train that will use it. Probably will back up a couple squares though. We'll need more signaling. Question is, how's this guy gonna go? That actually kind of fits perfectly. Let's remove some more trees. That's the entrance. Suppose the exit could be so. Problem is, I'm not a fan of trains being able to come in and go around. Like, I mean, yes, it could help, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of trains coming in that aren't part of an outpost. So we're not going to do that. This is literally going to stop. And this is going to come down out that way. But actually, there's really no way not to do that unless we like, where's our personal train and our fuel train? We're gonna have somewhere to come in here. Could be fuel train or personal train. Could be setting up some things, so let's grab these things. Wondering if we should expand the stacker right now. But for now, let's maybe think we're going to do something about that coal. Yeah, there's really no way to deal with it now. Let's just get this over. And if we can do it, which we can, sweet, we will do this as the fuel train. How come we're out of inserters? Because we have a bunch more over here. Alright, let's put some wood. I thought I had a wood in here. Yes, I do. Let's grab power poles. those. And we're going to connect some chests to that station. Enable disable where everything equals nothing. And then rename you. So we should have a train coming on. We can some signals for you, something like so. Let me get away. Move that down slightly. Chain signal there. Be a lot of trains exiting here, so a fair amount of signals heading out. Help encourage throughput. I don't see how making it easier for the pickup train, since there only ever be one on the, you know, that's actually wrong. There's only, at least at the moment, one. But there could be multiple trains waiting, right, to get in this section. So technically speaking, we could have this and then a guy waiting right at the entrance. Now, if we ever make another outpost, that won't, I mean, another addition to this outpost, we'd have to change that, but not quite sure what that guy is. Oh, I do know. That was the side copy. Kind of weird how this has like that, right? Let's copy that and put that there as well. Guess we need some productivity modules in it. Let's come out, bots, charge up. I also want a mod to increase power armor supply, but alright, so this is simply yellow science, right? Let me just pass that on through. All these, we're not making some intermediary products like we do with other things. We're simply assembling. So, kind of do, since these are exact duplicates. So let's get our requester chest right. There's really just wants one speed module per process. I know it takes 14 seconds or something to make, but oh, you know what the problem is? Abandon that. We have no power, and therefore it's literally it's not considering these speed modules when I did this, so this is going to change. Bam, see that? Alright, so let's repeat that. Gotta be careful the first one you click on. If you click a power pole, it starts disconnecting power poles Right, now we ought to be able to copy this. Go boom. Just notice one RoboPort still has no power. So I ought to be able to just slap this guy down. And it should be an exact duplicate. Why is it not an exact duplicate? And we shall do that then. Probably, I don't know. But we do need power poles. Let's see what's going on here. We don't need power poles in between here. But there was a RoboPort down here and no power for some reason. And it's just simply because it doesn't have anything on that side. How about we remove that one and stick this guy here? Okay. So I think we're ready to send trains. Almost. Whoops. All right, 32,000. No. Science pack's only stacked to 100, I believe. I wish it said. You hovered over it. So it's actually 334. It's for some reason set to space science. Oh, that's right, because we copied space science for the track. So 334 per chest. And then for these chests, let's restrict them to one stack of whatever it is they're dropping off. And let's copy that. And paste that down. Should be the same. Okay. That way we don't spam like all our supply stations for this stuff. You know, it's just ridiculous. Okay, so we're picking up 334. Change this to yellow science packs. And so that's getting information from all these guys are contributing to the count of yellow science. Okay. So, we need our bots yet. Alright, so all our trains will have fuel. They want it. For our yellow science, our high demand one will be copper cable, so it should be in a middle lane. And probably the first of copper cable. So we shall name the U yellow science CC unload. Now these other ones already have names. Yellow science this, yellow science that. So this won't be, well, if it's backed up, blue science, blue chips. Do you have a traffic jam or something? Is there a reason why we are low on green circuits for some reason. Iron appears to be the issue. These craft relatively fast. The fact, I mean, if I brought in cable, I could change all these to green circuits, right? I could increase output. I haven't tested it, of course, but definitely increase output, maybe. Something to consider, anyways. Copper's not an issue. It is iron for some reason. How's iron doing up here? Because this is where the iron's coming from. We have 200k average sitting here. X Station 4 is never even being picked up from. It's just sitting here idle. We could send a couple more iron trains towards this build. Anyways, I'm going to start sending these trains like this. Batteries. Okay, so copper cable is the middle. Batteries probably at least it stacks to 200 in their batteries, and there's just one of them. So that'll be on the edge somewhere. So we'll do BTs, blue. No, BTs are batteries. Let's do batteries there. And we're going to rename you as X. And we're going to send you to go get some batteries. And show up at our new place. Likewise, you. First, let's copy speed modules. It's going to be one of these two. I think I want blue chips here, so let's send those speed modules to there. That. Oops. Gonna take. And so we need to go get more speed modules. And lastly, blue chips. And is this guy here? And all right, so this guy is going to die, and it's going to have a whole mess of junk. It will just have to be transported by hand or something. Probably back to the main base. Be used up somehow. Let's I'm wondering if I should send these trains. Well, we'll wait to the cable factory. I mean, I realize some of them are coming from this thing way over here, which could use some love. This is a little speckled. We got 2 empty belts feeding it. Well, until we start getting trains here. Not ready to start sending. Don't run on track. could have a train show up. So we are going to have 2 yellow trains, so they can use this input on this side to sort of stack themselves on. That guy's going to show up soon. Batteries we just sent in. He's going to show up soon. How many batteries we got on hand? 600,000. I would say we're pretty good on batteries. Salt sulfuric acid just sitting here. Good. I'm actually liking it. I was sort of dragging my heels on making this yellow science build, but I think it's pretty amazing. We'll have to see how good it is and what supplies we need. You know, I'm guessing we're going to need at least, oh, you know what we do need at least to start with is our copper cable train. Let's start with you. Let's have supplies for 1 train on me, so that's not hard to start you out. So, copper cable load, full, and then yellow science copper cable unload. And you should have fun. Whoa, you're apparently standing on the track there. So, blue chips. Kind of hurting. You're both blue chips load. That's really, really, really bad. It's almost like we need a yellow chip or green chip build just to supply you. I mean, because there's so many blue chips or yellow chips required. So now sulfuric acid deal. Plenty of sulfuric acid on hand. Alright, well our first train has arrived. It's going to be Yellow Science Station, but I don't really want to. I'm just going to name it Yellow Science Station 2, I suppose, to start with. And then send my train to it. Yellow Science Station 2. Because I'm going to be going back to the other one to tear it apart, so I don't want to just get rid of it. But that does get our train out of the way, potentially. So I have, I mean, on all these I have something coming. Here comes our batteries. Blue chips. There's actually a train on the way. Cables should be on the way. Never used actually pulled stuff from it. So, but here it comes. And I have probably a massive amount of cables on hand now, because I've been sending one copper train here for a while. Did create 2 loading stations, so we're capable of more. Kind of like we did do this. It's kind of near this supply for that. Batteries supply. The only thing is what? Blue chips and, and speed modules right there, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we kind of could do a blue chip. If we did a blue chip around here, that would be, or anywhere in this area around this yellow chip build, green chip build. Could really put that on fire. Alright, here comes our first blue chips. So our bots are at 0, but that's because every chest is getting new supplies for the first time, so it's not a concern. Kind of see how we're doing on yellow science so far. It's kind of weird how the numbers are sort of fluctuating up and down. I don't. Could be because of the bots in the air, maybe. So how are we doing after one set of each train? Like, we knew batteries. Batteries, there's like 1 of each, and they stacked at 200. Right, so batteries are probably going to be our easiest. And it's going to be copper cable. That's probably going to just require so much. I mean, you can see most of the bots in the air are carrying copper cable. So probably need a second copper cable train, absolutely minimally. If not a third. Okay, so this is probably going to be silent now that, say blue chips aren't coming here anymore. So rename this. Don't like he's unloading, but I want to see how copper is doing in the south before I send 3 trains potentially there. Alright, so he's no longer going to be a copper load north. Copper load south. And then you're going to go to CC copper load empty. Really should head up there and change some chests around. Get as much back onto trains as possible. Unload that stuff. I must be in a car, not in the engine. It's weird how I hear other trains passing too in the same way. So there is a little bit of radar missing. Not much, but a little bit. Something like a radar rate on one of these poles would work. Fix that. I'm going to copy that copper cable train. And first thing we'll do is start another one. Going to yellow science 1. Pick up some pieces. Some trains are just going to be disbanded, I guess. Petroleum train, iron train, the station is way down on the list. So I can go in circles or something. There, why don't you go down? There we go. So one, we need to get rid of that. Or at least have the train come but pick up instead, which is not going to really work. Because it's always going to be full. So I suppose one of the things we need to do first is get rid of that. My guys didn't give me any more cars. It's not something what I was hoping for. I was hoping they'd give me a full set of supplies while I was back there. Let's change these to requester chests of train fuel. And then change these all to whoops. Provider chests. Got them too. Technically, I could probably just pick them up, but no sense when I get bots do it for me. Alright, so how much of things do we have made? Like, do we have any yellow signs made? 0. We have 0. I mean, if we just had blue chips in here, we could have stuff made, but this is just a horrendous amount of junk. Here, I mean, your train's being filled. These things are working. I'm thinking, of course, blue chips will be the holdback once again. And copper cable is also going to be up there. Actually send this train to X. There. What's that doing? Having a hard time loading up. Okay. Well, then let's send you to X. Is this? Kind of looks cooler that way. I want to do the same thing here. This was completely extra. Speed train here. We need to make these. Let's pick up all the provider chests. I thought I should maybe copy this for posterity. So let's call this Yellow Science mid-game. Not late game, but or it could be even late game, but not Megabase. Then we're going to convert everything else to provider chests. So let's open you. New storage. Clear all that. So chests to provider chests. Cluster chest to provider chests. And buffer chests to provider chests. Where'd my upgrade planner go? There it is. Insufficient. So we ran out of provider chests. That's fine. We will start requesting. Take all these. Right, and change these to requester chests. And let's just do it that way. We'll snap up the ones we don't. Oops. We'll change these to request 200 batteries. And I should start getting the batteries. Let's fold in. Well, let's guess get rid of. Change this to fold. This is yellow science load. Don't think we're sending trains back there. I think this train's dead. I don't know if I'm going to fill it back up or anything. There's a lot of petroleum just sitting there, but I don't even know if I got the other ones. The other train stations, I don't think so. For fuel. So let's and that's empty, we can pick up. This is train full, is that the problem? this copper plate. I can send a copper cable train. I mean, how's this doing? It's down to 450. I think it was over 500 when I first started. Suppose this could. Let's do a copper load. Let's just add this X. This doesn't have an X copper. It's just X. Suppose I could do this with iron. Guess I could send that to steel. Iron load 3. Or empty. That's kind of weird. Steel. Steel, iron unload. D. Right. It's probably only going to make 1 or 2 trips, but didn't use much iron for this build. Yellow Science is pretty weak on iron. I suppose it ain't horrible, 15. But most of that's going into chips, not the sulfuric acid for batteries. That's my opinion on that. Oops. Guess you don't rotate those twice. A lot of bots. Suppose I could send that to the plastic. PG. So all this sulfuric acid, it's kind of wasted. There's a pump out here somewhere. Why did I have a ton of iron? Sulfur. Is there 2 pumps down here or something? There's one there. Just one. Yeah, so there's no reason to have to rip all those pipes up. Who knows? Maybe I'll want it someday. You know, I mean, pumps don't consume electricity, so that's not doing anything. I got auto trash sulfur, huh? Should change all those requester chests into provider chests. Don't I change you all? Did I just change them back? I just probably did. Copper cable, I don't know what I'm going to do with all that. Technically, how much yellow science am I now making? Production-wise? Not that great. 3.2. Of course, I'm consuming 3.3. Something's got to break. Still, well, it's blue chips here now as much as copper cable has to hold back. send my personal train back to me now. Why aren't you going no path? Or you say no path? I don't know. I didn't remove any track. It's probably this. Already back from steel. It's kind of amazing. That's it. Could be some empty provider chests over here. That's an empty buffer chest. I shouldn't be doing steel chests, but oh well. Actually, yep. full. That's all those guys. All right. Send you off again. Oops. Guess I don't want to take those power poles. All right. What am I doing on provider chests? Alright, those should all be provider chests. Oops. Let's change the to copper cable. Don't have a train that can take it though yet. Let's see. Take from somewhere else. My train done over here. It's an interesting idea. Yes. I'm just going to get rid of those. My train here yet? It's coming. So we're going to make this X CC. All right, you're gonna go to. I don't want to delete your whole schedule, but X turn full, and then CC. just going to come back here. That works. Dink. I'm actually going to travel with it once. Put that radar in. So really, these aren't even getting close to empty, right? Bots are keeping it full, even if it's only one stack it's going in. Yeah, I'll leave it that way. This is bad. We have 4 trains waiting. Simply waiting on iron. Well, these guys should be going in. almost there. It's actually a slight problem. Don't want to be going in cargo wagon first. We're going to have to go and turn around at our station. What we're really going to have to do, we want to do this automatically. Can it do that? Like so. Gotta wait till it empties though. If I do automatic from here, well, since it can do it, so should stop here though. So after loading, we need to actually send it to Science Station 2 at a time delay of 0. Get that radar in. Kind of the same thing. No, actually, that's right, because then we're going to go there, we're going to turn around, and then we're going to go there. Blue chips. We're going to have to come up with a solution for blue chips. I don't know why this suddenly caved on us, but it did. I mean, it's in the south. I mean, it's not nearly as well stocked with input trains, but there's 200,000 average there. Let's send one of these green science trains that's going to the north. To GC load south. Redirecting even one train can make a difference. Where are we? Ways yet. When the blue chip train's there, it's well cranky. Well cranky, is that even a word? Yeah, we're making like 7K a minute. It can do it if we just keep it supplied. Even 6K a minute's a huge improvement. I'll say I don't really want to make that trip again. Let's just head there. Crap, crap, you're dead. Whew, whew. Whew, that was close. As they say, danger, Will Robinson. My spaghetti space science. Before it became an outpost. All right. So we're going to create, and this will be a little easier if we make it a double-sided, only 2 cars. So X, Hill Science, CC load, return full to CC, also CC, empty. XP needs some fuel. Switch back to manual. You don't have power. Head back there. I want to send a second blue chip train to here, but so we're producing roughly the same amount of blue chips as we're consuming. This is fluctuating wildly though with green chips stock. Like we have the green chips, then it's doing well. If we don't, it's not. And I did move one green chip train from this outpost to the southern one, so it's going to make a difference for both of them. Of course, this one's further away, like way further away compared to these two. The question is, if I went crazy after copper cables, if that was the solution. Instead of copper, I would have to, I would think, come up with a separate copper cable build up here for that. That's an idea. It's not something I'm going to do right now. I guess we're up here. And, this only has like 200K on it. I think this train's done. I guess we're going to have a few fuel on us. Power does connect to this, but I don't know how much that's really needed. No, it certainly isn't. I don't think, oops, it's got like 1,000 watts in it. We do need that's for fuel. is this station? Blue chips. Don't want to remove power here yet. This is still working. Except there's really no more cables, which is good news. It's taking a while to unload batteries and whatnot. Can't really pull a lot out of this yet. I mean, I could suppose like pull assemblers, beacons. And getting batteries and stuff. Oops. Just stick that there and the bots get it for me. looks cool. Like I'm shooting. Neat. That's right, I need to fix power down here. I never set those up as requester chests. And beacons. What's this doing? Kind of crazy. The batteries have been sucked up. It's really just blue chips we're waiting on. The train doesn't have anything. Well, next episode's gonna have to be blue chips. We're gonna have to do something. Because I think our copper build can sustain more. Iron probably can as well. We certainly could expand this a little bit. Send more of the trains that are over here for ore that are taken away over here to this one. Maybe build a green circuit just for this guy, like something. I don't know, but I'm gonna definitely call it. Doesn't seem like this is gonna have any more. Let's send that. And that train will be done. This train is roughly done. Hey there. So I'll do that. How you doing, bossness? So, doing okay here. Which means I've launched that many in the last 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yep. Well, the first rocket's the hard one. I mean, it certainly is the hard one. Yes, steel. Big expense for rockets. Big expense. Like, here's my low density structure build. I'm producing, let's just go to a minute on that, 3,000 low density structures per minute. FPR. 4 low density structures are for rocket parts. You can't see it like this. You actually have to stand at a rocket to see the demands for a rocket, but low density structure is a big part of that. Here's my rocket control units. You need low density structures for rocket parts and for satellites. You don't need quite as many rocket control units because you only need that for rocket parts. I mean, if you figure I am using 3,300 science per minute, that's 3 rockets I have to launch per minute. Average. Like, here is my space science. My main space science outpost, anyways. As of my last save, 410. Like from the time you first started at Factorio. Yeah, I would say you're definitely excited about the game. I've been playing close to a year. I don't know exactly. Well, actually I do. I think I bought the game in September, October of last year. And played pretty much every day since. Unless I'm doing something with friends or... This is my Outpost for Space Science, but this is my original Space Science on my bus. It's roughly two separate games, Factorio. The game up till you launch rockets is a totally different game, in my opinion, than the game after you've launched, say, well, 500 rockets. The first 500 rockets, well, and beyond, technically, but at a slow rate, you can do off your main base. Off this roughly chunk, plus feeding it with materials. But after that, you have to build, things like this to get more iron plate, and then copper plate, and green circuits. And you go through various phases of what design works for you. So you can see my designs are roughly the same, because this design really works. It's really, at least for me, it's duplicatable. Here's all my steel. And for some reason my steel production is backed up, which is really strange. I was doing really well with it. I don't know what happened. Where's my oil setup? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't have, this is my, where is it? Original oil setup. It's really kind of spaghetti-like. Does everything. That's ugly. Yeah, that's ugly. This is my original rocket fuel. This supplies my main base with rocket fuel. That as well is ugly. I tried a plastic build. This is doing one plastic outpost. This guy. And this too is ugly. I now don't prefer that way. I've already built it. I won't change it. It does provide a lubricant train. It does provide actually a PG train I don't use anymore. My current thinking, I'll start here, is petroleum build. This thing only makes petroleum. You can duplicate it, you bring in a crude oil train, and all this does is make petroleum. You know, and so if I need more, I just build another one. In fact, I have 5 of those. I have 3 more way over here. All it does is make petroleum. And you can use petroleum for, I'll scroll way back down here because it was opposite this one. Let's make sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, bring trains of petroleum and make sulfuric acid. That doesn't sound, well, sounds like you got some exploring to do. My current plastic build brings in petroleum gas and makes plastic. That's all it does. Well, and coal for the plastic, but simple, relatively. I have several episodes on this build that you can look at. Actually worked on it pretty much last week, quite a bit. I mean, here's my full base. Like, this is it. When you've expanded this size, you're going to find your stone, you're going to find your uranium, you're going to find your whatever. I know you're experiencing, people have told me, lag from the time you type something and the time I reply, so it's both, though it's mostly solar. I'm using a mod called Advanced Solar. Just checking out a couple builds that show they're going to deplete within an hour. This guy's going to need a... Just a handful. They're in their own ways, each are useful. But I would say the advanced solar is probably the most cheaty of them all. Beautiful bridge railway allows you to build bridges. Simple. Let me show you. Here's an example. Allows you to put big power poles on water, allows you to put signals on water, and allows you to put track on water. Various looking track. You can have track that looks like, normal intersections. Yes. Basically, all I'm using it for is for an upgraded pair of night glasses. Equipment hotkeys allows you to turn off and on your personal roboports. It's the same also when you get in and out of vehicles, it automatically disables and enables. Though while you're in, you can use F2 to enable it. But by default, it disables it when you get into a vehicle. I suppose. That'd be cool. Let me end this episode and I'll be right back. So hey everybody, thanks for watching Dune's Megabase, and I will be back with somebody else's map here in just a minute. Boston is actually.